All right, everyone, welcome back. It is Wednesday morning. I got a box full of goodies. Most importantly is that can right there. So at my house, we had a weird rainstorm. In the back addition that we have, we had a leak. And I'm shocked, out of all the rainstorms, we've never had a leak. The back roof is a flat rubber roof, and the upper roof is shingle. The shingle roof is fairly new. The rubber roof is gotta be. It's crazy how like time flies when you think about it. Nearing probably 10 or 15 years old. Still in good shape. Rubber roofs require maintenance. Flat roofs require maintenance. Since I had solar, and we had a leak that had absolutely nothing to do with the solar addition, or solar on the roof. It was actually a leak coming from a different part of the house. And the rubber roof had a little bump out that was shingled over, and we just got a leak. So, I went up there in the rainstorm and I put caulk in where I thought it was coming from. Now, mind you, I'm not a roofer, but I know how leaks happen. We fix, automobile leaks. That it could have traveled from anywhere and caused the leak in the spot. And we haven't had a similar rainstorm like that in quite some time, where it was like sideways almost. So I was like, all right, I seen some shingles that were unrelated to the solar install that were popping up from the prior roofer who put them too tight to the house, and it was so hot, it was just expanding and buckled two of the shingles. So when you get solar, they'll assume your warranty that you currently have, and I had a 50-year warranty shingle that was done, I don't know, 7 years ago, something like that. We called and they came right out. The roofer is actually the roofing company and the solar company all in one, which is fantastic. They asked us, hey, where was the leak coming in? Told them what I did, and I said, hey, I know that it could come from anywhere. Check that out. Check the whole roof out, and let me know what you found. So he made recommendations for the tiles that were tight on the shingle part. And I said, hey man, do whatever you got to do. I said, it's just in the winter time. I don't want snow and ice getting up under there and causing a bigger problem for you and I. I'd rather be proactive, right? Maintenance, proactive, and take care of it. He said, yeah, we'll go up there and, we'll do whatever he did. So he said, hey, the flat rubber roof needs maintenance. And I was like, I know, I haven't been up there to really... And it was raining that day when I went up there and put caulk on the shingle where it was leaking. And I said, I know, I haven't been up there to check it. I only walked the areas that I could because of the solar and it was raining and all that stuff. He's like, oh, I understand. He said, preventive maintenance is a good thing. And I said, I understand. He goes, I don't know... if there's going to be a charge for what we did today, or I said, hey, whatever it is, I understand. I could have done it myself and went up there and farted with it, because I can actually put the rubber roof on myself, and I've laid shingles. And I said, you know what, let me just pay someone who comes out and does this every day, and let them use their best knowledge and experience, because that's what they do every day. I don't do roofs every day, but I can do roofs. And hence, I maintenance and repair my own rubber roof at the shop. So that's why I have this. I need to get up there after this brutal heat we've had and see what has cracked and what has separated and what issues I have in different areas other than the one that I fixed the leak in before. He said, I really don't know. We replaced some flashing. We did this, we did that. He said, I don't know if there's going to be a bill or not. I said, I understand. Whatever it is. I said, just send me a bill. He said, I'll turn in my paperwork. If they send you a bill, it is what it is. I said, I completely understand. It had nothing to do with the solar installation. And I understand, right? These guys, they didn't come out for free, right? Someone's paying these guys, and whatever materials and time they put into it, got to come at a cost. The point of the story is, I didn't challenge or argue with this guy whatsoever, knowing that I could do this myself and save myself tons of money. I just said, hey, whatever it costs, take care of it, please. I don't want to have a problem. be it small or big. And he said, hey, the rubber roof needs maintenance. I said, I know, I've been slacking. I didn't realize I had a can at the house already, and I had my son pick up another can. So when I got home yesterday, I went up on the rubber roof, and I went up there and I maintenanced the rubber roof. And it's no different than when you bring your car in for maintenance, like where you have a problem, like you call and say, hey, I have a problem, and the problem's right here, right? But the professional needs to evaluate the whole system, right? It's not just you point right here and say, hey, this is the problem, that's the only area I want you to look. That's not always the case. And when I say that, the guy yesterday with the plumbing van was telling me how to look at his car. He pointed to the back, and I was like, I already see that piece is missing. I get that, but I need to inspect further up the system that I'm working on. No different than my roof. Hey, I know that there's a leak right here. He asked where it was coming from because they weren't there. Right there. I said, but I know it could come from anywhere. Go do your job. And what did they do? They looked over the whole roof in the system to make sure that they weren't missing anything and I wasn't missing anything. The leak wasn't right where I pointed, although it could have been. And then there was another customer the other day who's a subscriber. Thank you for coming in and using us. He brought an older Honda Civic in, and I love older cars. And the exhaust system was just rotted out and so bad in certain spots. I was just like, if we rig it, it's only going to fall apart. So we said we can do this or we can do that. He advised, we also offered making the exhaust system, which is only half the car. And he said, hey, just put the direct fit stuff on there, and then he'll circle back to the front end work. But he did say the lower ball joint on the left side was bad, and the sway bar link was broke off also. My job is to look at the whole entire system. Tires had some issues. The strut bumper, boots, and rebound bumpers were completely annihilated. The left lower control arm looked like it was sitting in salt water. The passenger side was actually in good physical exterior condition for the integrity of the metal. But the bushings, the forward control arm bushings started to crack. You just don't know what you're getting into unless you inspect the whole system. And I said to Rachel, some people and some customers, they only know this is broke, right? So I'm gonna turn the AC on, and it doesn't work. Well, what part of it doesn't work? Most customers really don't know. Some people don't even know that the blower stopped working when they say I turned my heat and AC on and nothing happens. That's up for us to diagnose the whole entire system and its integrity. And if the system's down, we need to get it up and running, and then you can actually physically and digitally or electronically check all those systems and find out what other systems have failed. So for instance, if the AC doesn't work, the blower works, I need to get the AC system working, right? And then once the AC system's working, I can go through all the functions of the AC system, make sure that it switches from hot to cold, make sure all the blower speeds work, make sure all the positions actually work. Once the system is working properly, or almost working properly, then you can figure out what else is wrong with it. So it's not always just one piece sometimes to the puzzle. These guys who went on my roof, they removed all the shingles off of that one side of the bump out on my addition in the back. They didn't remove two shingles, they didn't remove one shingle, they removed them all to figure out what's going on and realized that we needed a new piece of flashing from one end of the house to the other, and then re-goo and re-muck and put down shingles back over it again. So it wasn't just, oh, there's the leak right there, they're going to put some goop in it and they're on their way. It's never that simple. But my point is, I could have done that myself on the roof, but I wanted to pay someone to do it, right? No different than the plumbing truck come here. He's a plumber, he could have done it himself, to be honest with you. Really, it's like, if you can make plumbing pipes, you can go to the parts store and buy a bunch of clamps and hangers and do everything to do it. But he wanted to pay somebody, but he wasn't willing to pay the good guy, or not the cheap guy, right? He wanted the cheap guy to do it. And there is no one cheaper than yourself, and don't take that personally. There's no one cheaper than yourself when it comes to fixing things yourself. Replace your own headlight bulb for $20 nowadays. Take it to a shop and find out what it costs to take a bumper cover off a headlight assembly and do that. You'll be blown away at the cost of what it is to replace a headlight bulb, let alone a taillight bulb today. And that's only if it is that. It could be a bulb along with rusted out bolts. It could be pigtails bad. This is like all unforeseen stuff that costs money. My point is, if you can do it yourself, then do it yourself and save yourself the money. And don't torture somebody who you invite to your house or invite to your business or invite out to help you, right? When you come to someone's business or you go someplace, you're basically asking for their help on help me fix my car or help me understand what's wrong with my car. You're asking for their help. In return, they're going to provide you with an explanation and a cost attributed to that. Remember, I didn't invite him here to help him fix his car. He invited himself here looking for help, or she, or whoever the case may be. Remember, you're asking for someone to help you, and then this is what they charge. If you don't like that, then you can go from shop to shop to shop all day long and figure out the price differences, because there's going to be price differences everywhere. Mobile mechanics prices are going to be different. Street mechanics prices are going to be different. Your neighbor's price is going to be different. Every price is going to be different. That's why there's business. There's multiple businesses available. There's multiple roofers. There's multiple plumbers. Like, we use a plumber here. I've been through a few plumbers. I have one who's a light plumber that I don't really need his work or his help very often because I do what he does. Faucets, hot water heaters, all that stuff. When it comes to clearing sewage drains, I have this one company, and we used Roto-Rooter. Not a smashing Roto-Rooter. Roto-Rooters are $1,000 just to show up to your home or your business. Every time I called them that I couldn't fix a plumbing problem here, and it's usually sewage drain issues, it's $1,000 for them every time they show up. And they don't put no parts in. It's just, they're here, they spend an hour, they clear the drain, and they're out. I found another local plumbing company that came out and does the same thing here every couple years. It's $300 for them to do the same service. And I never questioned. When they came here, I didn't ask to question them. I just said, I got a clog. They come out and they do their service and they're on their way. And then typically when I see them at the shop, I have them go to my house. I have them clear the drains there just to maintenance my own drains, clear the jets. I could do that stuff at home too, but I'd rather pay somebody. The point is, I didn't ask them or tell them how to do their job. I just said, hey, I need your help. I'm asking you for your help. I know it's going to cost something, but come out and do it. You know, if the guys were here for 6 hours, I don't think they're going to charge me $300. But typically they come in and did the same exact service that Roto-Rooter did, and I didn't know any better, right? Because I didn't realize Roto-Rooter was that expensive, and they don't do that great of a job. I think I had to have Roto-Rooter come out like every year, and then after I had this other company come out, it's like every 3 years. You see the difference? You know, the more expensive guy really didn't do that great of a job, and it is what it is. And then the cheaper guy actually does a better job sometimes. And not are they cheaper? I don't know. They send out 3 guys. Roto-Rooter comes with 1, and they do a really good job. And I don't tell them how to do their job, and they send the bill in, and it's always affordable. You know. So if you want a price shop, I assure you, there's plenty of places out there you can get your car fixed for almost free. But you need to see what the results are, and are you going to be happy with it? And are they going to help you when there's a problem with the work that they did? That's what you got to be careful with. You know, that happens too. All right, so my rant is over. I'm going to open the shop. I got a box full of goodies for my hot rod. I'm going to do a box opening. Maybe I'll do a video when I'm on the roof, maintaining my roof. Thanks for watching.